On our 11th wedding anniversary, I went in for a mammogram, and they decided they were going to do an ultrasound after the mammogram, which is protocol, I thought. And the doctor came in, he's like, oh, there's something there, we're going to biopsy it. And I was like, oh, it doesn't look bad, does it? And he's like, it doesn't look good. And I asked like 4 or 5 times, like, does it look bad? And he's like, no, it doesn't look good. And then I called my husband, and it kind of hit me. I was like, they think I have cancer. And he's like, are you serious? And I was like, I think I am. And I just like lost it. And my MyChart message came up. Then the last line said, highly suspicious of cancer. And it said like invasive ductal carcinoma and then triple negative. So that kind of led up to the beginning of my cancer diagnosis. About a month into my diagnosis, I started treatment. And I kind of was in like a really big blur up until treatment started. I was like really thankful, but I was pretty numb. But then when I started chemo, we decided that we were just going to make the most out of each day, and that's what I needed. So we looked for things to be thankful for, whether it was I'd be in bed for 10 hours after chemo and my husband would be doing silly voices to the kids at night and they'd giggle while they were reading, and I'd be like, oh, there it is, there's my joy for the day. And we just kind of embraced finding joy. There's a lot of cancer books for kids that kind of explain like chemo and radiation and surgeries, but there wasn't a lot that embraced kids to have the power. And my husband and I really believed that our kids had the power to find joy, and I had the power to do it, and I needed something to focus on. I needed like a task, and I want kids to feel that empowerment. But also what I have found is parents need that. They need something to show their kids like it's gonna be okay. And we find joy, cancer messed with the wrong family. When we wrote it, I wasn't sure what to expect for a response. I hope parents feel empowered too, like, hey, I can find joy too while I have cancer, because it's so important, and you can go through the rabbit hole, and we all do it, even if you are finding joy each day. You go through the rabbit hole, you Google the statistics, and I really wanted kids to see like, hey, look, we can do this, like we can be creative still, we can find joy. So we started kind of brainstorming a book. When we were starting to write the book, my kids and I came up with maybe like, and my husband came up with maybe like 40 ideas where we found joy, and we obviously got it down to about 15 maybe for the book. And after we were done writing it, my son goes, Mom, we had it pretty easy when you had cancer. And then I was like, speak for yourself. Like, and he goes, we were thankful every day. And I thought, yes, that's kind of what it's about. And it was really healing, I felt, at the end. It was kind of fun to look at the things that we found joy in, because everything in the book is something that we experienced. One of them was that we were eating supper, probably a meal that someone had brought to us, and my son said something, and I can't remember what it was, and he goes, don't raise your eyebrows at me. And I responded, I would if I had any, because they were completely gone. And we all just burst out laughing, because you have to laugh at things like that. Sometimes joy and happiness doesn't just like come to you. You have to look for it. And if you look for it, you'll probably find it. It's not something that always just kind of is like, oh, this was a great day. It's like, oh no, we got to find where the great part of the day was. And that's kind of what we held on to in the end.
Why did we find joy? We find joy. It's we find joy.